The seagulls follow trawler. It's because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much.
Talking nonsense. So I thought, no, enough's enough. Why should I put up with that? Talking nonsense. So I thought, no, enough's enough. Why should I put up with that? Don't back down, double down. Don't back down, double down.
Yes!
Don't back down.
Double Doon!
So, I've got Jonathan over for the boxing. You might recognise him from the old Monday Club. And we decided that what we would do tonight when we do the pod, we just go on together. And why not, mate? And instead of him sitting in a different room in the house on his phone, we were like, we'll just both wear a blazer and have a bit of a laugh.
So I'm here to be the independent adjudicator on the bus. When I found out who was coming on this week, I wanted to make sure this person was treated with fairness, respect, integrity, and I'm here to make sure all of that gets carried out this evening.
And without further ado, we better introduce our guest, a regular in the comments. He's been a passenger from day one. It is the lovable Paul McFarlane. How you doing, mate?
I'm doing great, boys. How are you?
Very well, my man. What an honour it is to get you on, mate. You've been like a mini celebrity in the comments, man, because you've been there the whole time saying hello to everyone. One of the first folks in the comments, helping the engine get revved up, mate. It's good to see you.
Nothing wrong with that, Bhoycie. There's nothing wrong with having an engine driver. You know what I mean?
Totally, mate. You need it. Stephen Kenny, Jack Jacobs. Now, before we start, we need to do the formalities. It is, as always, a big thank you to fanboyfootball.com, who are sponsoring us right now and are being modelled by our very own Paul McFarlane. The merchandise is there. Look at that. And are you happy with the quality of your purchase, mate?
Mate, I love it. Absolutely love it.
See. There you go. And fanboyfootball.com, what a support they've been. Do check out the site for Bhoycie Bus merchandise, but check out the other stuff as well. Custom prints, custom tees for more clubs than just Celtic as well. Phil McGinley, you are right. It's double vision, mate. Doubling down, double vision. Double trouble, says Ryan Kelly. And we are feeling a bit mischievous.
Oh, we are mischievous this evening.
Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King. He is fighting tonight around 10ish. So don't worry. We'll get Paul off air for the back of nine. We'll be able to, ourselves off air as well, around then. Brilliant to see so many people in the comments as well. I know it's Saturday night. I know people can be out and about. But if you're not, grab a beer, join the bus. We are going to be talking seriously about Celtic as always. We are going to be getting Paul's thoughts, Jonathan's thoughts as well on, it's been a strange week, I feel, being a Celtic fan. And an unusual one in what has been an incredible 2022. Is Jonathan really small, or is his seat lower?
I'm actually a dwarf, mate. I've never came out and said it. This is awkward.
No, he's just on a.
I'm on a smaller seat. It's no great. It's no great.
Right, look at that. Chunks in my trunks, another regular viewer. We need to get him on as well. That'd be great fun. And he is saying, sporting the top. Well, Paul, good man. And we are keen, though, Paul, not just for obviously the nice feedback about the t-shirts. It's not all about that on the bus, as you know. We do want to talk about Celtic because, I don't know, it's been a strange week. I think we need to remember first and foremost, right? The league table hasn't, or Celtic's league position or form hasn't changed. Everything is still going more than according to plan in the league. It is incredible, though, what a defeat can do, isn't it? Because for me, the Cup semi-final, it's long gone now. We don't want to be sitting over critiquing it for like too long and over analysing it. It was a bonus, in my opinion, if you were to win that. The league was the one that you dreamt of, and even then you probably felt was a bit unrealistic. But we need to, when we look at this with a wee bit of perspective, and perspective's been crucial for me this week. I did a show on Thursday, the Thursday Night Forum, and I was trying to get that across. Like, at times you hurt really bad when you're a Celtic fan and you lose those sort of results, Paul, right?
Mm-hmm.
But see, once you start looking at the bigger picture, and it's difficult to do that in the heat of the moment, and I think we actually did it all right on the post-match push, but right now, we're going to look at the league title, and I did it myself, the league table, and you see it only a 3-point gap, and suddenly the Ross County game doesn't become as much of a formality as perhaps we felt. But at the same time, I'm wanting tonight us to remind people that, you know what, nothing's changed in the league. They're expected to win their games against Motherwell, you know. Nothing's changed. Okay, all that happened was they got theirs moved 24 hours in front. I wonder how the league feel about doing that, by the way, after the tape all over the Sun sponsors. We might talk a bit about that later. But what I would say is, let's not panic. Ross County, I think, for some, I'm not saying for all, but is it becoming a more like tricky tie than what we would have seemed it was had it been the next fixture in the league and the Cup semi-final didn't happen?
I actually think, Bhoycie, that tomorrow we need to get our big hitters out now. Definitely. You know, last night in the show, I said about Forrest. It caused a huge reaction on the show, which I can fully understand now. But I think that what you said was true. We now need Kyogo out in that wing for this game tomorrow. Especially tomorrow, I've got my front three all ready for you. Definitely.
We're going to talk about that.
We'll talk about that later, yeah.
We will, mate. No, but I think it's interesting. I think, are you feeling like there was an overreaction to the Cup semi-final, or do you think it's kind of justified because it means so much to us and we were in it? And do you also now think, with regards to the league, that you're going to be comfortable again? Do you know what I mean? Like, are you feeling that Celtic are going to just resume their league form, or does the Scottish Cup tie give them a bit of a dent? My honest hunch, Paul, and I'm not trying to drive your opinion on this in any way, shape, or form. It's not my style. But my vibe is Celtic will reflect and then remove. That's what they'll do from their memories. They'll reflect initially. They will do an inquest where it went wrong and then erase it from their memory. Remove, reflect, and remove. That's what I think Celtic will do. And that's what gives me confidence that tomorrow the green and white machine goes 6 points clear again with only 4 left to play.
It doesn't really matter what team we are playing, boys. I just feel that if we play our best, the way Ange sets out his team, we should be beating anybody, even Europe.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
No, that's what I fully understand. I've always thought that. You know, I don't think that whatever team, no matter what stage of the league campaign we're in, we should be getting out there and destroying every team. Not just playing, destroying. Like we always say, we should be doubling down and everything.
It's too easy, Jonathan. I'll come to you, mate. And it's weird because I'm looking at you. I should be looking at you here, and yet I'm looking at your reflection in the camera. But we need to be honest. It was a done. It was no one seen it coming. Let's be completely honest about it. No one seen it coming on Sunday. What did come, however, I think as time has passed, I've kind of made peace with it. And actually, when I look at it, I go 17 wins in a row at Hampden, 33 domestic games unbeaten, and then it comes to an end like that. The law of averages dictate eventually we were due a poor result, not just at Hampden, but we were due a defeat domestically as well. When you look at how long this run's went, everything's all still in place for a crazy season.
Oh no, definitely. I wouldn't have any problems with that at all. I think when you look at it, I think it was just a bump in the road, so to speak. It was a pothole that the bus just had to drive through, unfortunately, if you want to talk analogies on things. But I felt like, Celtic were not at the races at all last week, but this week they'll be back. I'm convinced of it. It's going to be a bit more tricky now because I think obviously Rangers winning, particularly in the circumstance with them being down to 10 men, I think people might have expected them to drop points. But you know what? It's all about what Celtic are going to do.
Yeah.
And it's all about, if we win tomorrow, I don't really care what anyone says. You're now looking at a situation unfolding where Celtic can win the league at Celtic Park against Rangers. People talk, goal difference. Well, goal difference, my friend, is not getting overturned in a game like this.
No.
It's just not going to happen. If Celtic win their next two games, they are the league champions. It's simple as that.
Yeah.
So it's all to play for. I think Ange is the kind of guy who will have sat down and not taken that too badly, the fact they lost last week. I think he's quite emotionally detached from a lot of these sort of situations. So I don't think that's something that will play into his mind. And I feel he will feed that back to the players. And particularly, you look at Callum McGregor as another one that I don't think gets too emotionally attached to certain results not going their way, that they'll get bogged down by them. And I think that'll obviously help move them forward. And that's why I'm fairly confident they'll still get the job done, tomorrow. But it's going to be a tricky game, and there's no two ways about it. But if the incentives of winning tomorrow, they're so big, I cannot see past Celtic at all in that game.
Yeah, well, the good thing we've got as well, Paul, right? We've got a manager right now who just doesn't panic. We're allowed to panic, by the way. And see when fans panic and then go, or they get gallus and they say, I think we're going to win the league. And then we'll go, oh, see, you shouldn't have said that, or you shouldn't have said we were going to beat Rangers. Stop all that shite. We're allowed to think whatever we want as fans. We're not influencing what happens on the pitch in that regard of what our opinions are before it. As long as you support the team, if you're in the ground or wherever you can from, whether it be via social media, podcasts like this, whatever it is, that's what we do, right?
I'm laughing at that last point. Oh, the irony. Who do you think funds the bus in?
Back manager, that's brilliant. But like I say, the good thing is with Postecoglou is he's got a very calm demeanour, Paul. Nothing flusters him, whether it be poor refereeing calls, whether it be a poor Celtic display, whether it be a brilliant Celtic display. He's never came out like, and been like, oh, we were amazing today. He's always very balanced and measured. And I think the disappointment that we've went through is one thing. But I also think it's a good thing for the league. And I'm not going to ever be as daft to say we wanted to lose the game or anything. But now we have. We need to grab positives from it, right? And one of the positives is, Paul, the Celtic side got a reality check. That the next 5 games, you are in a race still. Until it's done, it's not done, and we've got to be treating it sensibly. And I think with Ange's persona, who doesn't tend to panic, I think with a team that have actually bounced back from poorer performances pretty well over the course of this season, and they've had drawbacks along the way, they've recovered pretty well. I think we combine the two. I'm quite convinced this Celtic team know how to respond to the disappointment of last week. Do you agree?
Definitely, Bhoycie. I really think this year that Ange has brought a winning mentality to the team all the way. I really think that we could really go places with this team. And like he's always said, this is one of the foundations this season. We're still to build this team. He wanted to build a team first to win the Scottish Premiership. But I feel that his project is to not only do well in Europe, but to win in Europe.
Yeah, well, I think I agree with that. I've said that before. I don't think Celtic winning, I don't know how many league titles have we won now? I know other people keep a lot of
I
count
think
of them.
51.
51,
I
you
think
know,
it is,
it's funny how
Yeah.
you're not that bothered about the number. But anyway, I think when you come in as a manager from the J League who's managed at a World Cup before and things like that, I don't think the draw to come to Celtic, not in a bad way. I think the rivalry and winning the title, of course, there's a bit of a draw there in the passionate fans. But I think that Ange, he is 100% a guy who's got an eye on Europe, I think, is the long run. He'd be looking at the Celtic project and going, imagine being that guy, though, who did take them to, dare I say it, a semi-final in Europe or something like that. And it's about time Celtic put themselves back on the map in that regard as well. And I do think we've got the right guy to do that. But what he's done right now is he's got us in a league title winning position. Now, what's important about that with Ange, right? And I'll come to you, Jonathan, because Postecoglou was signed because he was someone who knows how to win league championships. 4 in Australia, 1 in Japan. Now, slightly different format in Australia, and it's been a bit of a contentious point of mine earlier on in the season when I was on the other pod. I made a few remarks on it, which I stand by. But the fact is, he's got 5 league titles in the bag already. You know, I say already. He's got 5 league titles in the bag. He knows how to get us over this line, doesn't he?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think there's definitely a winning mentality that Ange has brought over from Asia, and maybe it was something that was missed amongst a lot of sports to begin with. Just how successful he's actually been over that period. And I think, you know, he's got that personality about him that I don't think he actually will be overly phased about losing in the cup semi-final. In the same way, like, you know, if you were looking back at it, let's just say things had went swimmingly last season, Neil Lennon was still doing a good job. If Neil Lennon was to lose a cup semi-final like that, Neil Lennon would have had a bit more of a meltdown about particularly Bobby Madden's performance. He'd have went off the charts on something like that. And it could have affected the team because I think he is more like of an emotionally invested manager in that way.
Yeah.
And I think when it comes to Postecoglou, I don't know if Paul agrees with this or not, but he does come across as quite a calm person, doesn't he, Paul? He's quite laid back in the sense that he just knows how to get things done at Celtic, and he's not going to get phased if they lose a game.
I think he actually is the most laid back person in the UK, never mind Scotland.
I agree with that, Paul. What would you think that cuts him? Like, do you think it's a big factor in how he's done so well at Celtic? Because the progression and the change that he's had to adapt, and we've talked about it a million times, but what he's actually implemented at Celtic is wholesale change, right? And he's done it with no fuss, done it with no dramas, done it with nobody crying over spilt milk, no bleating about referees like we were all entitled to through the week. You don't hear it from Ange. You don't get it from Ange. But what he does, Jonathan made the Neil Lennon comparison. Ange also, though, never misses. I've spoke about this before. The Kenny McIntyre one is unbelievable. He basically, live on TV, has accused Kenny McIntyre of supporting or not wanting Celtic to win a football match. But he's done it in such a way that there's no, like, furore over it. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if Neil Lennon does that, Neil Lennon does it in a way of, well, you obviously didn't want us to win, Kenny. You know, that's how it comes out.
That's a terrible impression.
Yeah,
You should drop that.
I know.
You should drop that.
I've still got Tyson Fury to do later.
Just so you got that in your back pocket because that was ruined.
Try my best, mate. Try my best. But I think Lennon would be delivering it in a more aggressive way, a way that was genuinely going to bring, I don't know, a bit of unrest to the team. It can give teams sort of, I don't know, second doubts. They're going, he's lost the plot here. Are we meant to be more on edge? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Whereas Ange's got this calm demeanour. And like I say, I think last Sunday, he'll have moved on from it. It's removed. You know, you reflect, remove, erase. That's it, done. And I think now what we'll see is Celtic back to the well-oiled machine they are. Now, we can't underestimate our opponent. I've seen a comment coming in there saying we're overrating Ross County right now. We cuffed them at home, which is absolutely fair. I don't think we can underestimate them away. It took 97 minutes, remember, earlier on in the season, Paul, as you'll remember, Tony Ralston. One of the moments of the season when you reflect on it, isn't it? Now, I don't think Malcolm Mackay has covered himself in glory, shall we say, as a person. But everyone has a past, right? And at times I think Ross County, yeah, it went against the grain a bit, but the guy's done everything he can do since then to apologise, to accept he was bang out the order, etc. What I think is distracted from is this is a guy who was doing a very good job in football management at both Watford and Cardiff City. And what is a fiercely competitive league, the English Championship, fiercely competitive. And Mackay had repeated the trick at 2 clubs. He was well rated down there. I think Ross County won a watch being able to get a manager with. At his age, his sort of experience, I think they've done well. It's showing. They finished 5th after the round robin that every team plays each other 3 times. We can't underestimate them tomorrow, Paul, in my opinion.
No, I don't think so. I feel that with Ross County, the first thing they wanted, it's beyond their wildest dreams, as you said, getting into the top 6. But I think now they'll be wanting to fight for these points because the higher you go in the league, the more money you get. It's all financial now. The financial is a bonus. So they'll be going for all these points tomorrow. Everybody's turning around going, they've got nothing to play for. They've got the top 6 place. That's it.
Yep.
But financially, they've got to go for it.
I think even if they finish 4th, they'll still get into Europe now as well. I think so. That's it's another carrot there. And Ross County could finish 4th because it's up for grabs. Totally up for grabs for that. So I wouldn't buy into the fact anyone's got nothing to play for at this stage yet. And I was a little bit surprised Motherwell didn't take advantage of the fact that they obviously still had 4th to go for more today, without actually watching their game. So I think
I was actually shocked at Motherwell. Definitely.
That's what I would do. I would agree with you. I think when Motherwell get themselves to 1 each and they're playing against 10 men, you'd fancy them to get something out of the game, but obviously it wasn't to be. But looking at it from Ross County's point of view, they've got to be looking at this and thinking, you know what, we're very close to taking a point off Celtic earlier in the season. They're a well-drilled team. They've done extremely well this season. Not many would have put them down as a top 6 team at the start of the season. So they have to be treated with respect. And as I've said before on this podcast, Celtic in the Highlands notoriously is not a good stomping ground for us. That being said, I still think we'll have too much for them.
Oh, Neil Lennon 2011 vibes, was it? 2010?
Yeah, was it 2010 Inverness? 2011
season, wasn't it?
10-11. That was the season that nearly was, and then it ended up being the season that was bitterly disappointing in so many ways. But that's what the Highlands can do to Celtic in some ways. And even if you go back further than that, Inverness have done Celtic a few times over the last 20 years or so. So you've got to look at it like that. Ross County have taken points off us in Dingwall plenty of times in the past as well. So you can't underestimate them, and they do have a lot to play for. Yep. And I think this is one of the trickiest games Celtic actually have post-split. When you look at the fact the fixture list has Celtic at home in 3 of their games, Ross County away is probably more difficult than Dundee United away, in my opinion. So it's definitely not one that we can take for granted. And I just think it's going to be, I think it'll be tight. I genuinely do. I don't think Celtic will run away with it, but I think Celtic will just about get away with it. What do you think, Russell?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just one of those games. I think Terry Robbs just nailed it, by the way. It's the bottom comment. This is the key game. I believe it is the key game for a host of reasons, which we're going to actually divulge into, if you don't mind. Firstly, I've got to say, thank you so much, everyone, pushing and hitting the like button, because I've just watched it jump up 20 viewers since the last 3 people have posted in there saying they've hit the like button. Massive thank you. That is proof.
Wow,
that was at 50 and it's just went up to 71 live, right? And it's just on the back. You can see it in the comments, people liking it. It does help, guys. Please do it. I'm always not wanting to push hit and subscribe and all that shite. Do you know what I mean? But because it's not like you just feel awkward doing it. Do you know what I mean? But it's part of the game. And if we want the bus to keep pushing on, that wee bit of help, like and subscribe, a wee RT, a wee share on Facebook, whatever you fancy. That's maybe pushing the boat out a wee bit, pushing the bus out a wee bit. But anyway, whilst you're here, it takes literally half a second, hit the wee like button and keep the bus rolling. Anyway, yes. So the reason Terry says this is the key game, I don't want to speak on Terry's behalf. What I'll do is I'll take his point and run with it a wee bit. The reason I feel that it's such a key game, mindset, psyche. We drop points, right? And suddenly they feel that, obviously, naturally, they are closer to us in the title, but it'll feel like, oh God, what is riding now on, the game at Celtic Park? Now, whilst that pressure we might thrive in anyway, Paul. Of course we might. Is it necessary to be under that? No. You want to be going into it. Cheers for that, Jonathan. I just burp away, mate. Like, you're wanting Celtic to be going into that Rangers game swagger, knowing, as Jonathan says, rightfully, we win tomorrow. It's a title winning. It's a title decider.
We win tomorrow, Bhoycie. I think the league's over. Because Rangers were not as good as a team in that semi-final that everybody is telling everybody they are.
No.
The only reason I feel the only reason they won that was because of Celtic's performance, not because of their own.
No, I thought the game. I thought it was very poor from Celtic. I didn't even think Rangers were even at their best, to be honest. Either I thought it was a pretty poor spectacle in some ways, and I would have to agree with you. You're looking at it and you're thinking Celtic put in one of their worst many months. That's been probably about 6 or 7 months. And if that had been a league game, it would have still finished a draw. That is the crazy thing about it. If that had been a league game, it would have still finished a draw. Celtic would have got away with a point.
Mad.
And we'd have bitten the hand off with how we played. If you got a draw in that, you'd have been like, fine, we'll take that and move on. If that happened at Celtic Park next week, we played as badly and we got a draw, one each, you take it and move on. But I totally agree. I think when it comes to the Ross County game, it's a case if you win that, you are pretty much in a position now where the league is there for the taking, and there isn't as much pressure on it, because even if the worst was to happen and Rangers were to win the game at Celtic Park, Celtic still have a 3-point lead and they've still got a far superior goal difference, bar an absolute monumental collapse on that front. So it's still a good position. You've still got 2 home games left as well after that. Dundee United away, I don't think is a terrible fixture to have, to be honest. We tend to do quite well at Tannadice. So I do kind of feel a lot's riding on Ross County. I would actually almost go as far to say as Ross County away is actually probably the second hardest game post split outside of Rangers. What do you make of that, Paul?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. But I still think it's going to be like Bhoycie said. I think it's still going to be a tighter game tomorrow. Definitely. Yeah, when you see all some of the fans coming out and saying 3 and 4 nothing, while I would love that, I still think it's going to be another 2-1 win for Celtic tomorrow.
Yep. I think there's confidence that I do believe that we will get the job done tomorrow. And it's such a brilliant way to, honestly, like, you're going into then a huge match, right, with Rangers at Celtic Park, but for all different reasons. This is what I'm trying to say earlier. You're looking at this, if we drop points, you're looking at it going, oh, wow, that'll be 2 out of the first 2 that we've dropped points in, potentially. Do you know what I mean? If we don't get a win today. Or you go into that game going, we win today and that is it. Bar, a 20-goal swing or something like that. That's the League One. It's not gonna happen. They'll know it. We'll know it. Tomorrow's a big test of Celtic's character. All I was saying about the Ross County thing was, I do believe we can't take it for granted. Not that I think that is what Ange will allow, but I just believe as well we have to be wary. This is a side in form that we're playing. I think they've unbeaten in their last 10 or 11 games as well. I don't know what their stadium's called, something mental these days, but Dingwall, right? But basically, they're unbeaten 10 of the last 11. We need to take it seriously. We need to treat it with respect. Now, we'll go on to the next point first. Jamie D, what a legend, £4.49. Wow. Does that even get you a pint these days? As if I wouldn't know. But thank you very much, mate. Much appreciated. It's really kind of you, and we do appreciate it. Thank you. Now, JJ out, GG in. I don't know why GG's not in capital letters there. That's really frustrating. I'm excited to have the big man back, Paul.
Oh, definitely.
It's a shame for JJ, although I reckon I'd have started Ralston tomorrow anyway. So it's not as much of a blow as what it was missing GG last week. I want your thoughts on how much of a miss he was last week and how big a plus he is for this week.
I actually feel like last week in the semi-final, if Chaos had been playing like he always does, he causes chaos. So if he'd have been playing last week, I think we would have won the game. No matter what our performance would have been, he would have destroyed their defence.
I think you're spot on. Jonathan, I agree with that. I think, see, his absence has been huge. Now, we spoke about it on Monday. Obviously, it was a huge hammer blow. We're not making excuses or any of that shite, but I do believe he's been a game changer. Funnily enough, the two he's played against Rangers is two that we've won, right? It's as simple as that. You know, it's no coincidence. And he's not scored in either, but that doesn't take away from the contribution that he's made. Now, bringing him back into the fold, I think it's an ideal fixture for Gigi to feature in. I think this is where it's a tight pitch. It the conditions could be, although the conditions should be pretty good mid-April. I know Malcolm Mackay's team want to play the right way, and I think what gets overlooked is often we think, oh, we'll put Gigi in because they're a physical team we're up against. It's not always the case. Gigi just plays a physical game. He's chaos because he's a bit of a baller. You know, the guy can come deep. He can do the layoffs. He can run back in behind. I think we'll see. You've even seen him run the channels at times. I remember he came on, the first glimpse I got of his all-round game being a hell of a lot better than what maybe we thought was against Ferencváros at home. He came on, I think, for the second half, and the amount of times he allowed Celtic to get up the pitch by holding it off, layoffs, clever movement, seeing the players running off him, picking passes out, Jonathan, that you were going, we've missed that a wee bit. That's a different type of player. And he is a focal point because of his physicality. But I think, do you know what I mean? I know I've gushed about him loads on this, but do you know what I mean, Paul? Do you know what I think he gets maybe? I don't think undervalued. I don't think people are doing it deliberately, but it's almost like he's tagged with, he brings physicality to the team. I think he brings a lot more as well as the chaos.
There's not many players of his physique that can actually play the ball on the ground. A lot of target men are just aimed at, heading the ball into the net. But he's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. The way he plays it on the ground, it's like you said before, Bhoycie, he's Larsson-esque. I feel.
Yep. The anticipation for that goal before he got subbed off injured was absolutely sensational. The 7-0 win against St Johnstone. See when that pass back's going and he's read it, I went. And then funnily enough, Lil Z on Twitter, who, midnight every night, and I don't know whoever it is from Adam, right? But I like promoting him on the bus. Every night, midnight, he will post you the on this day in Celtic's history highlights, right? Which is amazing for a nostalgia trip. When you're scrolling through half the shite on Twitter, looking at the wee potato and that, going, oh, shut up, mate. Do you know what I mean? And then you get situations where this guy's showing you or taking you back to eras or matches. You're like, I fucking can't even remember that game. And it's a 3-0 win at Rugby Park or something in 1998. And there's a highlights package from Scotsport he's found on YouTube or whatever. And he's playing it on Twitter. Now, why am I talking about him again? I'm talking about him because, ironically, he shared a clip, and it was Celtic from 2002. And it was 3 days after the 7-0 win. And it's Henrik Larsson reading a pass back by the opposition defender and anticipating it, running onto it, round the keeper and scores. I thought, that's why I made the point at the time. I didn't know I didn't know 3 days later it would be getting shared on Twitter, a very similar video. I wish I could be that, in the know. But sadly, I'm not, Paul, We'll leave that to other people, mate. I heard, by the way, I don't know if you know about this, Jonathan, my ears were burning on Thursday. Apparently, the guys who don't watch other podcasts and don't take anything to do with other podcasts were waxing lyrically about me, and not in a good way, on Thursday in the re-comment section. Good to know. Take the posters down, lads. It's all right.
They can't leave you alone, Bhoycie. You're that important.
They're still looking for their replacement to their Magnificent Seven. That's all.
That's it, mate.
Exactly, Jono.
Catherine Williamson comes in. Brilliant to have you in the bus, Catherine. Hope you're good. And she says, I'm from Belfast and my family surprises me with flights and tickets for the 1st of May game. Haven't been to Paradise for 7 years. I'm floating in the air. Hail, hail. Love all you Bhoycie guys. What a beautiful message that is, Catherine. I love that. And news just in, I'm going to Celtic Rangers game as well, if that's the game you're talking about. I am going with young Regan. You might need her on the bus.
Wow.
Yes.
Big news coming out tonight.
I know.
Big
So
news
I
coming out
might
tonight.
not, but I might like get you to send me the link. Do you know what I mean? For post-match pressure, we'll dance about outside Celtic Park for a bit. Hopefully. But yes, Catherine, thank you for that message. As Kevin 14 rightfully points out, enjoy. And if you do see us, say hello. That'll be cool. Brian O'Neill's just checking in to say hello before the game tomorrow. Good to have you on the bus. This is great. Everyone feels it's funny with the bus, Paul, right? You can gauge, right? Completely gauge the mood of the support, right? Even though we are quite a low key podcast compared to, the big wigs. See what I did there? Big wigs. But not that I want to talk about here. But the thing
neither
is,
am I.
but the thing is, with the support, you can still gauge the mood even from average viewers of 1,000 a show or whatever. You can, and I felt the mood went quite low key this week. I think there was a bit of painted lips, sunken sort of heads. You know what I mean? Like, I think we were looking at our shoelaces a wee bit as a support. Tonight, I'm definitely getting vibes. The recovery's been done. We've reflected, removed, and now we have erased. The Hulk banger comes out and he says the Bhoycie bus is coming. Everybody's jumping. How's it going, lads? Right into this mob tomorrow. Massive game. Oh, excuse me.
Oh, no,
and he's, I know, I smell bad influence. I smell a beautiful Sunday. I love that. And I hope there is. Terry Robb says the bus is booming. Sean Mayer, the People's Podcast. That is what I want to hear. Glasgow CSC saying it's good to see you on, Paul. And it is, by the way. I don't want to go too emotional about it, Paul, but we know you went through a rough time recently, mate. And what was incredible about that was the amount of messages you were even seeing in the live comments, let's be honest, sending you goodwill on the bus. And I think that's when you're, see, not because it's a good thing that happened, but it was a poignant moment that what happened, right? And it was the first time you've seen there's a community being built here, because there was genuinely heartfelt sort of messages going. I thought in the comments anyway.
Really, Bhoycie, I didn't really want to bring it up and all that, Bhoycie, but now that you brought it up, I'd like to say to everybody, I'd like to thank everybody in the community, the Celtic family and the Bhoycie bus, because without yous, I wouldn't be sitting here today and on the road to recovery.
That's scary, mate. That's scary, but amazing though. It's amazing, isn't it? And I think it is. It's like I just felt like you could see the group, the folk. And by the way, it's not a clique, anyone, a clique, whatever it's called. But anyone's welcome on the bus and will be treated with the same respect as anyone else. But I just thought, it was cool. And I'm not bringing it up to be overly cheesy either, Paul. And I don't want to upset, obviously.
Not at all. But if it is, it might not be a clique, but it's too sweet.
He's good. He's good. And there's Phil McGinley, top man Paul, Bhoycie bus stalwart. I'll quickly tell you as well, Phil is on tomorrow with Regan. And wait to hear this, Paul. Big news.
There's more news breaking.
More news breaking. The first show of the Bhoycie bus without Bhoycie on it. I know, I'm letting go. I'll be here, bringing up the comments and that for the lads, and I'll still be working, but I am gonna let Rock and Roll Sunday, R&R Sundays, a Celtic Sunday blether be done by two guys and I'm not one of them. It's a big deal though. I'm not egotistical with it or anything. It's just because it's the first time you've done something like that. It'll be like, fucking hell, I'm actually not on it. But I think it'll work. I think it'll work well. I'm looking forward to seeing how Regan's hosting skills.
And Regan knows what he's doing. Regan will absolutely have you on toast. You won't be getting back on the bus when Regan started.
Of course, Regan knows what he's doing. Regan knows what he's doing. He's top of the league in this quiz that I'm about to do.
Oh,
and
I know,
I'm
mate.
crapping myself.
He is above league looking.
Down on the passengers. Thank you, Ali Boy, as well. We appreciate that. We better get back to talking some football, though. We've went fucking way off course. Now, this is going to be the final point. As I say, we're going to keep it to, a strict sort of 55 minutes an hour. Oh, did I say 55 there? Oh. But like a strict sort of time, because we're all excited about the box, and I want to get your thoughts on that. Not now, but at the end of the show after the quiz, we'll get some predictions on the boxing as well. We might even put a bet on the prediction we fancy the most in the comments. And we'll let you know how we get on. I think that'd be a good idea.
That's why I'm here, because I thought that was part of the bank loan I'm applying for, was for the bet on the Fury fight. So
super patter. Now, Kyogo's return to the fold for the final fixtures could be crucial. Well, of course it could be crucial, Paul. Let's not let what he didn't really bring to the table, shall we say, on Sunday cloud our judgment. Kyogo back for the title run-in is huge. It's still a positive in my opinion. I don't think it's fair to judge Kyogo for Sunday. I maybe said on the Monday show, Jonathan, we were having a chat and I'd said, I think we need GG back because Kyogo didn't really shine. Again, reflection. And then once I remove that performance, I start going, Kyogo's back. Kyogo's back. Does he start tomorrow, Paul?
Definitely.
You think he does?
Yes.
What do you think?
I've had 24 hours to think about it since last night when I gave that stupid comment about Forrest. And I get lambasted for it, which fully understandable. I know.
It happens, mate. It happens.
I know.
Mate.
But I think tomorrow Kyogo should play and on the wing.
I would agree with that.
I think he should play on the right wing. I actually think Maeda on the left, Giakoumakis through the middle, Kyogo on the right, and Jota, not because of his performances recently, but I think the guy just needs to have a calm down period on the bench.
Yep.
Let him come back on and show us exactly what he can do again and start again. Because the guy's been brilliant for us this season.
I think it's a great comment to come out with, because that's actually the exact same front three I would have played if I was in the manager's position as well. I think it has to be for me, Kyogo, Maeda and Giakoumakis up front. That's the front three everyone wants to see now at this point, I think.
I don't. I disagree.
No, do you not
I
so?
think we're given an alternative view, if you like. I'm not trying to pinch other people's fucking podcast names, but I think genuinely people don't want to see Kyogo. And I think Ian at Green White one has came in. Look at that t-shirt he's wearing, belter. Wow. But he's saying, look, see, he's subliminally saying he doesn't want Kyogo on the right. He's already saying if Kyogo and Chaos can start, who's going? Oh, if they do start, who's going to drop out of it? Nothing. No.
Yeah, I think I know who drops out.
But for me, I think a lot of fans still see Kyogo now as a number 9. I am convinced he was not signed to be a number 9. I'm convinced he was. He's got not really much of a track record of ever being a number 9. I think Giakoumakis was signed to be the number 1 striker. Mm-hmm. What would be interesting though is, and I'm not saying tomorrow, but I would love to see us in a home game, Paul, start 2 up front again, and it be the little fella with Giakoumakis. That whets the appetite, does it not?
People, with the last time we didn't actually change the system, but in the last game against St Johnstone at McDermott Park, when we had all the injuries, and Abada played through the middle, and we had all the talk about should Abada be playing through the middle as a striker, which he's already done at another club. So I actually think that we still can play 3-5-2, but still play Angie's system.
Yes, totally, mate. And
everyone thinks that changing the formation means we change the system. No, it doesn't.
No, I completely agree. I think you can change the system and still have the same formation, or the other way around, actually, as it was. But it's one of those ones. I mean,
that's a clever point, Paul. Actually, let's see the one I'm thinking about it. I'm like, yes, you can.
No, and you definitely can. I'm just wondering though, Russell, is that what you're suggesting? Then is it going to be 3-5-2? Is if you were in Ange's shoes, and you are the one making the decisions, is that what you would be doing? Would you be taking the risk on a 3-5-2 at this point in the season? Bearing in mind, as Paul says, you could do a similar, same system really, or do you still stick to your sort of 4-3-3?
I think Angie's formation is set in stone between now and the end of the season. Oh, should I say between now and if we get the title done till then? I would like to see some variation in it though, Paul. If the title was to be secured, as we are hoping, not taking complacently, but as we're hoping it is completed by next weekend, right? We are. That's what we want, right? Now, what I would say is, Rangers, I felt, last week, I would give them some credit. They knew how we were going to play.
Yeah.
See, if you only play one way, you know how they're going to play. I would love to see us change it a wee bit. Change it a wee bit and show we've got other ways. There's many ways to skin a cat, as I was saying, I keep using. And I believe it, Paul. You know, I'm like, Celtic can't become, despite it being extremely entertaining and exciting football, predictable. Now, whilst you're exciting and entertaining, if folk know how you set up, that's why Calvin Bassey knows to keep being allowed to step out to Tom Rogic.
Exactly. Sorry, Russell.
No, go on, mate.
I just feel with the system with 3-5-2, with Andy's system with 3-5-2, this gives you the opportunity then to allow Scales to play in his preferred position. Scales always loves to play at left centre back, but he can also play at left back. And with Angie's system, with Taylor on the left wing back row, Ange likes his system. He likes his wing backs to pull into the middle. So when they pull into the middle, then Scales can move to the left back row, and no one's going to get caught out coming back.
I think, I mean, for me, 3-5-2 in my generation anyway is Martin O'Neill, right? And I had never ever seen it before as a Celtic fan. I don't think anyway. Not that, well, maybe they're not that I was conscious of. Maybe too young, do you know what I mean? If Tommy Burns played it, then forgive me. But my memories are when Martin O'Neill did 3-5-2, it was like, what? And it just seemed so much like so common sense. The midfield's packed. Defence, you've got an extra body because back then it was two players up front was the norm, 4-4-2. You've got extra protection at the back, and there were three brutes under O'Neill, let's be honest. But you went in the midfield, you've got an extra body as well in the centre midfield. You've still got two up top. It's just the wing backs need to be super fit. There's a hell of a lot on them, and I think that's why you get guys like Agat, you know, who maybe didn't have he wasn't the best technical player ever, but what an engine, what a desire, what a work rate to achieve the best he possibly could. And Alan Thompson, just a will to win. I mean, he must have been burst at times playing that wing back role, but it was successful. I would like to see Ange implement something else if we get the title over the line this year. We're not counting all our chickens yet. But if that was to be done, say it was to be done by next week, we'd have 3 fixtures left where we could sort of rotate the squad. I would like to see not just rotation in personnel, but in formations as well. As I think Sunday, not to harp back to it too much, but I do think Rangers went right. 2 defeats off them, but we know how they set up. We know their danger men in. And the inverted fullback thing that I was pretty critical of at the start of the season, just probably because I didn't know it. There's been a bit of a stubborn little bastard as well, probably. But the inverted fullbacks, they knew. Taylor had a belter of a game at Ibrox. Probably his best game in the Celtic shirt. Ironically, he did score the goal at Hampden, but I didn't feel the fullbacks were half as effective on Sunday. And that can become a pattern, Paul. Once one team knows how to play against it, other teams do as well. So we do need to have variations. Kevin 14, Celtic's formation is 2-3-4-1, 2-3-2. I mean, it sounds like we're doing Clyde 1 Super Scoreboard, Jonathan, doesn't it? But look at Terry Robb there, t-shirt looking great, Paul. But anyway, we've discussed tactics, we've discussed formations. It's all about what the boys do tomorrow. My opinion is we do win the game. Let's do some predictions. I'm going to say Celtic 2 and Ross County 0. I think it'll be 2-0, but I don't think that'll be because it'll be a slick 100% dominated game. I think there'll be edgy moments. I agree with Paul on that. But 2-0 for me. Jonathan?
It's annoying because you've literally just kind of taken exactly the prediction I was going to. So I'm just going to be a wee bit different, just so we're not completely the same. I think you're right. I think it'll be close. I would have said 2-0 makes absolute sense in a lot of ways because I think it will be very tight, and I think it might just go go that way. But I think if I'm looking at, I think it'll be a close game. I think Celtic will keep a clean sheet. I'm going to go with Celtic 1, Ross County 0. A narrow win for Celtic. Hopefully not too late. The goal comes like last time. I'm not sure any of us want to go through that again, but I'm going to go with Celtic 1, Ross County 0. Hopefully an early goal to settle the nerves.
Yes, and now it comes to you, Paul.
I stick to what I said earlier on. 2-1 to Celtic, but I think it's going to be another late winner.
Oh, Paul, we don't need that.
No, but I'm actually going to say that it's going to be Ralston once again.
Oh! But by the way, do you know what? See if it is, if Paul was to be right, is that not an example of the stars in life aligning for someone, you know?
Yes.
And do you know what? See Tony Ralston, see when this season is reflected on, and hopefully it's reflected on as a title winning season. I think in 5, 6 years, 10 years, we'll be doing something similar to this, Paul. We'll be doing, I don't know how technology will have advanced by then, but you know what I mean? Like, we'll be doing something similar to this, and we'll be talking about that Tony Ralston season, the season where he became Cafu. You know what I mean? Like, it's just ridiculous. You look at his goal early on in the campaign as well. Remember, it sort of came and he flicked it up, keeped it up on his thigh, then turns around and volleys it in on his left peg at Celtic Park. The 97th minute header goes, you know.
The Hearts one was very impressive.
That's right. I forgot about that one. Right, that's right.
The Hearts one
First game of the season.
Yeah.
I think his last game when he scored the winner in the 98th minute at Ross County.
Yeah, it's a moment in time.
Exactly. But I think it was that moment that showed the rest of the Celtic team, the new players, how to be a Celtic man. Because the way he went in with that header, he didn't care whether he was going to get hurt or not, and that would only come from a Celtic man.
So true, mate. I think you're right, and I think Ralston has been a handy guy to have around there. Bob McBob, for fuck's sake, Cafu. Clearly, Bob, tongue in cheek, mate. Clearly, you know what I mean. And we've seen some funny comparisons of Rangers players over the years, by the way, as well. Some, let's not even mention. Right. Paul, it's time not to back down.
It's time to double down.
Hey! Mate, best of luck to you. I'm not going to say it's easy because it's fucking not, right?
The questions are not as straightforward as they used to be, I would say. This is probably one of the hardest sets of questions I've seen in this in a while.
I think Paul might...
But I think Paul is more than up to the challenge, to be honest.
I think Paul's... Probably.
Thanks for the confidence, Jono, but I don't know about that. But like I said before, being on the Bhoycie buses, I've won already.
Oh, mate, we'll have you back, by the way. Believe you me. As I've always said, you know it's a process. So what happens is, I need you to have the bollocks to come to the Double Doon Show, because I think this show has got still potential to grow further. I might need to make the quiz look a bit slicker on the screen and stuff, and that'll be for the summer. I'll get some help off some graphics folk, and we'll make it look a wee bit slicker. But I think this show's got arms and legs. But what I also want it to do is go, you like Celtic podcasts? You enjoy them? Would you like to talk on one? Come on and do this. Take part in the quiz. Have a laugh at yourself probably by the end of it, but that is part of it.
Part of it.
It is part of it. And then you'll get to do like a post-match piss show, a Sunday Blair the Vegan, maybe another type of show I might be working on. You just don't know. And I think that, for me, gets folk involved. It keeps the bus fresh as well. As I say, tomorrow's a huge day. I'm not going to even be on the fucking show. That's mad. But I also think it's good. I think it's good for the viewers if they like the contributors that have came on. And by the way, everyone's went down so well. And that is big ups to all you know. But
you look after the passengers, Bhoycie.
Got to.
I was going to say staff there, but I didn't want to...
No.
Like someone else.
Passengers, mate. Passengers. Unpaid staff, mate. You know what I mean? Not a clue. Right. Stephen Fagan is wishing you some luck, mate. He's saying, come on, Paul.
You're Stephen.
You've got this, man. Now, as always, Jonathan, I like to remind people, fanboyfootball.com, as wonderful a sponsor as they are not our only sponsors. Microsoft Windows Stop Clock is, because I don't know how to do it any other way. We've now moved to the left-hand side. As you can see, our beautiful stopwatch is ready. I'm just getting the questions up. Right, Paul, it's time.
You're going to go through the rules, sorry.
Oh, do you want the rules? Do we go through the rules?
I know the rules.
Yeah,
hopefully the viewers know the rules. I'm sure they do.
If the viewers are, the lifelines are double doon, back doon, and flip it. Flip it not getting used as much as I think it should be. Double doon's key because you've got to decide which question you're going to do it on. My opinion is have an idea in mind before the questions even begin. What one are you going to do? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, or 6? Because I can't read the question, then you get to double doon. It's got to be before that. Obviously, the quicker you complete the quiz, the more points you win as well. Which could lead you to using the back doon thing, but really I just wanted back doon to be a lifeline, so I had 3 lifelines. Let's be honest.
The back doon's a bit pish. Nobody uses it.
No, it's shit, mate. It is shit. But it served the purpose just because it had to be there.
It had to be there.
Right, okay. We're ready to rock and roll? Paul, it's time not to back doon.
It's time to double doon.
Hey! Okay, question 1. Who started up front for Celtic in the Scottish Cup semi-final last Sunday?
That was Maeda.
Maeda, correct. Question number 2. Name the player who scored in the Scottish Cup in 1985.
That was Pierre van Hooijdonk.
Correct. Question number 3. Which 2 Celtic players left Celtic for Sheffield Wednesday in 1999 on a Bosman?
Paolo Di Canio. And I'll pass in the other one.
No worries, mate. Question number 4. Who famously scored the crucial away goal for Celtic against Celta Vigo on the road to Seville?
I'm sure that was Hartson.
Question number 5. What shirt number did Adam Virgo wear? He pulled me up on Twitter the other week, by the way. That's another story.
Adam Virgo, number 5.
And question number 6. Name the Celtic managers. Yes, good lad. That was a bit hasty. I was a bit quick there. Name the Celtic managers to have won a domestic treble.
That would be Neil Lennon.
Yep.
Martin O'Neill. And Jock Stein.
Thanking you. That's you.
Went 25.
No worries. That's all right. It's all right. Done. 1 minute, 31 seconds. I would say one. What did you say?
I'd say about 125. I think he was done on question 6.
That's cool. 125. Okay. Right, Paul. How do you think you did?
I think I'm more at the bottom than I'm the top.
Yeah.
No, I don't actually. I think you've done pretty well, to be honest.
I think you've done all right. I think you could have done better. That's my honest take on it.
Gabby Box likes to run up the time clock. I have to try and keep him in line with the timing.
Big special guest referee Shawn Michaels. Shut your mouth, mate.
I'll kick you in the face when this is over.
Now, Paul. Question number 1. It's a good start. It's 5 points, okay? It's 5 points because you were absolutely right. Days and Maeda started up top. Relatively easy. We like to get you warmed up, get the confidence going so you've got a chance. Would you got that?
I don't care. Yeah, we got that. Yeah, we got that.
First trophy ever seen Celtic win. Very special one for me. That.
I'll be the same.
Are you? A very special one.
Started going to the Celtic games 1990.
Ah, there you go. Right. This one, I think you'll kick yourself. Very similar surnames. Donnelly and O'Donnell.
You're joking.
Canio, didn't you?
Di Canio was sold to Sheffield Wednesday in exchange for Reggie Blinker and £3.5 million.
Right.
But Simon Donnelly and O'Donnell both left for 15 grand a week at Sheffield Wednesday in 1999. But they got.
I can't believe I didn't get that.
Aye, Donnelly and O'Donnell.
I thought it was quite hard. I thought it was quite hard for that.
For question 3, do you?
I thought it was quite hard for question 3. I'm on Paul's side. I thought it was a very, very difficult question.
I think it was a big story at the time, though. It was huge. Particularly,
I actually do remember it. Yeah.
Aye.
That's making it feel worse.
Now, John Hartson absolutely scores the goal. I mean, it would never stand now. The way he just ruffles that Argentinian centre half, brilliant the way. And they thought they were a dirty bunch of bastards. That team. Remember Juan Fran?
Oh, I remember that.
For Celtic Vigo, he spat on someone. The two centre backs are both like 33. Berizzo, I think his name was something like that, and someone else, but they were both like 32, 33 Argentinians, and they were horrible. But this is the beauty of it. I fancy Hearts and Sutton against anyone at that point in Europe in a physical battle, because I also think Hartson came from England as a physical but petulant striker, right? A wee bit petulant. He had his moment, the Berkovic stuff and all that. And he'd had other controversy. Martin O'Neill knew how to get into players' psyche like him. And he became an animal, Hartson. Sutton, meant to be the bad boy of English football. I know I'm digressing, but who cares? Sutton was meant to be the bad boy of English football. Turned down the B-side call-up. 10 million flop at Chelsea and told everyone to F off and all this shit. Sutton comes up and he's like a little lapdog for Martin O'Neill. Martin O'Neill had power. I've never known a manager be able. Have you?
No.
Yeah, he had power, mate. But
I've always had it in my mind about one. I know we're still doing the quiz and that, but I've always had in my mind. Can you imagine Martin O'Neill's team, but with Angie's system?
Wow, that's clever because Angie's more of a tactician than O'Neill. Eh?
Yeah,
that's a great point.
Who do them together? Oof.
O'Neill's presence. Oh, they both got presence.
I genuinely think you put the two of them together, and what have you got? European Cup.
Wow. I love that. I love that, Paul. Right, we better crack on now. Number 5, Jonathan, you sure you're right?
With what I said?
Virgo's number.
I thought it was 4. Was it not?
Yeah, number 4. You said number 5. It was a good guess. It was a tricky one. That he pulled me up on Twitter the other day. Slagged my hair. That says that pattern is
Adam Virgo, by the way, no me.
Adam Virgo. I was like, mate, your pattern's as poor as your football, and just put a wee shite emoji. Finally, Paul, I'm fucking this one. You're kicking yourself.
I know you were trying to give him more time as well.
I tried to give you more time.
Understood why you did it.
You forgot Brendan Rodgers.
Oh, I don't believe that.
I was like,
most recent.
I was literally waiting. I was like, are we done?
You got Neil Lennon, which I thought would be the trick question. Really, I mean, got Neil Lennon.
That's why I went.
Can't get Neil Lennon out of my head. That's what it is.
But that is why that question was the 50-pointer, because I went, no one will get Neil Lennon. No one will remember Neil Lennon. That's generally what I thought. Rodgers, I think you'll kick yourself at that one, Paul. Eh?
I was trying to forget about Rodgers. I think that's what it was.
Now, we do need to tally up the points. 5 to 15. What's question number 4 worth? I can't even remember. Well, I can't. Question number 4 was 30. That's good. 45. 45. Angie did it within 1 to 2 minutes. 85, I think we got. Is that right?
Sounds about right.
Sounds right. 85, Paul. Probably the lower half of the table. Half of the table, mate. But I know. I mean, the question.
I just can't believe I didn't get
Brendan Rodgers. I would have completely swung it.
All you had to say was Brendan Rodgers, and you're sitting there in the mid-hundreds. Easy street, mate. Like,
well, after forgetting that, at least I'm not going to forget my first time in the Bhoycie bus.
Yeah,
listen, that
you're a legend, mate. Honestly, what a joy it's been to have you on the night, Paul. I mean that sincerely, by the way. Finally, we'll get everyone's predictions for the boxing. Go on, tell me who's going to win. Is it going to be Jonathan, the Gypsy King? Because what we're going to do, Dillian White isn't a good fighter.
He's not. He's a bum.
That idiot Dillian White, honestly, he just keeps going, any time, any place. I'm like, mate, it's going to be in a ring. Like 2 men with a pair of gloves on.
Oh no, I was down London's West End. I don't know what that was.
I think he's fighting Tony Blackburn tonight.
Nobody wants to see that.
Terry Robb says, Paul has been great. To me, Paul, you've been absolutely...
Cheers, Terry. Thank you.
Kaylee, I cannot bring that comment up, and there's no truth in it either. Get me in trouble. Fury in 6, says Stephen Colbert. Fury, round 5 knockout, says Scott Cameron. Another legend of the bus. Paul, you watching it? Are you a boxing fan?
Yeah, I actually was thinking Fury in 4.
Fury in 4, Jonathan.
Fury in 6.
Fury on points.
Oh, that's a bit boring.
I know. It's the way I see it going. I think he's went into a reserved mindset because he's going to go back to boxing on the back foot this time, and he's going to tire Dillian White out. Might not get the knockout punch on Dillian because I think Dillian's desires there, but Fury will have won that many rounds that he will win. Look at me talk like a journalist. Man, like a wanker.
Could this be Jonathan's knockout of the week then?
Jonathan, what is your knockout? Because we didn't get one on Monday, Paul.
Mm-hmm.
I pulled him up for that earlier, by the way.
There wasn't really much to talk about on Sunday, let's be honest. A knockout week, they're all fighting with pillows, Russell.
Aye, pillow fists.
But yes, my knockout of the week is going to be going to Tyson Fury this evening. Money on it, people. If you're betting, people, Fury in 6.
Fury in 6. Right, fine. I'll bring Kaylee's shot. I'll bring Kaylee's coming up. She says, I never forgot my first time on Bhoycie either. Just let me clarify. That is mischievous patter, unfounded rumours.
But you are loving it regardless.
Brian's in the bloody comments, her husband.
I'm just hoping you doubled down that night as well, boys.
Scott House says Fury in the 3rd. He knows what he's talking about with these sort of bets and all that, I believe. Anyway, guys, what a pleasure. Jonathan, thank you, my man, for being the first ever co-host on the Bhoycie Buzz. You might be seeing a bit more of him now. I've just landed the bombshell. I'm actually going to the Glasgow Derby, as they call it.
And
Paul,
I'll probably see you there. I'll probably see you there, Bhoycie.
Oh, I would love that, mate. Have you enjoyed yourself on the bus, mate?
Oh, I've loved it, mate. Absolutely loved it. I've waited all this time. I waited all this time to come on, and I know for reasons why. But now that I'm here, I don't want to leave.
That's class, mate. I actually love that. Would you recommend it to the viewers who haven't been on yet to come on?
Definitely, and I would want Kaylee to come on because I think you and Kaylee together could be one of the double acts of the season.
It'll be fireworks. It'll be fireworks, Paul. We all want to see it.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I know it's a Saturday night and people have got busy plans, Jonathan. They're out and about. The sun's now back. Summertime's starting. And not just that. Also remember, there is the small matter of the boxing starting soon. So look, see for everyone who's joined. Massively appreciate it. A huge thank you to Paul McFarlane again and to Jonathan. Boys, let's listen to Chris Sutton and some music. And come on, Tyson Fury!
Some of his comments about me deliberately trying to cause controversy. Well, I work in the media now, and you've got someone sitting there next to you who's an embarrassment to the media profession. He's an apologist. He's a charlatan.